Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? Another week, another edition of Hidden Tracks. I'm here with Danny and Slade from the amazing band ANARBOR out of Phoenix, Arizona. How you guys doing tonight?
Fantastic.
What's up? Yeah, doing well. You know, it's getting a little hot out here, but I think we're surviving.
I was out there beginning of March, and I had a frost delay before I teed off in the morning, and I wasn't prepared for that, for being 40 degrees in the morning when I came all the way from Jersey to get some sun and fun.
Oh, man.
Yeah, winter came late this year, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Tell me a little bit about how the band started. I guess Danny or Slade, whoever wants to start. I mean, Slade, you've been there from the beginning, so tell me a little bit about how the band started.
Yeah, so I mean, as typical as it may sound, I went to middle school with some kids. We ended up, hanging out, becoming friends. None of us really knew how to play an instrument. But we loved going to shows. So we went to shows all the time, Warped Tour, whoever it was, we'd go. Well, one day we were just hanging out and we were like, let's start a band. And I guess a few years later, we had kind of all got our instruments and kind of, went into the garage and started playing. And, one thing led to another from covers, and we started writing original songs, which we had no idea we were doing. And right when we got right into high school, we kind of started taking it serious. We probably started playing more shows just around the Phoenix area, and started getting more of our high school friends that came out to the show. So it wasn't really fans; it was more friends. But as the years went on, right out of high school, senior year, we had played a few shows here and there in California, and we started getting a little bit of record label attention. So right out of high school, we signed to Hopeless Records. And Hopeless Records took us on a great journey. Let's see, we got, placement in Scooby-Doo. We had a bunch of placements on MTV with Jersey Shore, ESPN, the MLB Network. I mean, the list goes on. We were with them, I think, right around to 2013. And we took a couple of years off. At that time, the band, at least the members of the band, had kind of reevaluated their lives, and they kind of didn't want to do the band thing anymore, which is fine. So I took a break as well. I wasn't sure, but the demand was so high, and the listeners were still there, so it just didn't make sense to not put out more music. So in 2015, we did our first, as an unsigned band, we did our first full length record, and then right after that, Danny joined, and he went on his first tour with us. Well, maybe it wasn't his first tour, but he went on his first tour with us, and since then, it's just been me and Danny. So we've kind of just trying to keep it, less cooks in the kitchen. Danny and I write anyway. He's a fantastic writer, and he's brought such a good little twist to the band, which wasn't there before. So, yeah, it's kind of the story of the band now. We haven't put out a record since 2015, so this is the next record that's to come. So it's kind of a big deal for us. We only have 4 full-length records out of being a band for 20 years. So it's crazy that we still have as many fans as we do, with as little of a discography as we do being a band for so long. But that's just what it is. We've kind of just had to keep going. So we're really lucky. It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's an awesome story. And I mean, when music hits you and you hold on to it, you're fans for the band for a long time, and you never really go away. So I don't think bands really ever lose fans. So, I mean, the fact that there's a clamoring for more music is I always clamor for more music from all the bands that I like. Whether or not they're together or not, I just always wish there's a new song coming out. You guys dropped one in February, Drugs, which is awesome. Yeah. Taking on a new sound too, which is pretty cool. I love to see the maturity in albums as everyone
Thank you,
grows up.
man.
So
Yeah, right. I feel like that's been a turning point for the band too. When Danny joined, our style changed a little bit. But the thing about Ann Arbor is, we've kind of been all over the board with our music. Like we've got more chill songs, we've got some swing songs, we've got some like rock songs. I mean, we've also got some jazz stuff in there. Like it kind of goes all across the board. So with Danny joining, it would kind of pinpoint, our formula of writing songs, what we enjoy doing, and kind of took a risk. But we still wanted to keep it a little bit nostalgic, so we got a couple rock songs in there too. But I appreciate the kind words, man. Thank you. It's awesome.
yeah, I had told a friend about you guys, and I was just like, yeah, I go, they're awesome, and if you listen to their discography, because it's the first thing I do when I find a band, I listen to every single song I can find,
Nice.
and just try to find the rhythm. Sometimes a band literally puts out 4 albums that it really could have been one album, but everything that you guys have done has been different. And the word that I said to him, I go, they're genre bending. They're not genre blending. They're basically taking everything that they know about music and putting it into a different song every time. So you're not getting all these different melds. It's like, here's your new wave song. Here's your rock song. Here's your punk song. And it basically gives you something for everyone to listen to, which is fucking rad.
Dude, I love that. Thank you so much. And honestly, that comes down to, when it comes down to the roots of it, it just comes down to being in a garage as a young kid, not knowing any type of formula or anything about writing music, just writing music and kind of just coming up with your own thing. Because influence is always great, but I mean, if you're in a room with a blank piece of paper, I mean, you can do whatever you want. So that's kind of the organic part of this band, is we just kind of do what we want, and we it's just what it is,
Yeah, I think that's like, kind of our biggest aim is to always be doing something that is new at the end of the day, because like, if we've already done something, why are we going to do that again? Like, you already have that version, and it would be a disservice to the fans to just put out something that we've already done. And Slade and I listen to so many different types of music and so many different genres and different bands that all kind of gels together. And then when we write something, we start with something, and as it progresses, we'll just add in little things that we take influence from all different styles, and then find a way for them to all just work together.
Right.
So, I mean, when talking about influences, and Danny, I'll start with you. I mean, for me, and for I think everyone out there who's either creates music or loves music or has any sort of bond with music, there's 2 moments in your life when music took place. It's the first musical memory you have of the first time you heard music, and then the second time is when you find your own music. Do you remember your first musical memory and the first time you found your own music?
Definitely. The first CD I ever bought, that I chose, I remember being in a Target with my mom, and I saw a CD, and it was these 4 guys wearing all white, chilling up against a wall, and it said the Backstreet Boys. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but these guys look cool. And that was like the first time I ever bought, chose a CD. And, but then, after that, it was like being around the age of like 11, 12, skateboarding all the time. And skateboarding had such a, like the punk music scene was so like intertwined, and rock scene was so intertwined with skateboarding. And I just found so many bands from buying these old VHS videos called 411, and they were just skate videos that you would buy, just a VHS tape. And that's how I found out about bands like The Strokes, Sum 41, White Stripes, like all this different stuff that led me down that rabbit hole of like wanting to learn how to play guitar and learning how to play all these kind of songs.
Yeah, and I mean, those skate videos have been around forever. I mean, I'm old, okay? I'm in my mid-40s. But those skate videos were things to me too. That's how I found some of my favorite bands of all time, and bands that I had never would have heard of. We were tape trading. My, friends in the area, skaters, punks, and hey, dude, I just got this video. You got to check it out. And you watch it, and then you hear all this music, and you're like, what the fuck? Like
Yeah.
it was
And
such a huge thing.
it's so like imprinting when you're young and you're going through those like formative stages in your life and you're going through puberty or something and you're like, oh, my parents don't understand me, nobody understands me, but like, you know, all the silliness and those kind of videos and the music that says like, yeah, fuck this and fuck that, and you're like, yeah, that's me. And I don't know, it just kind of like opened up a whole new world, and it kind of becomes your own in a way. And like that's the great thing about music, is when you find something like out there on your own, like it starts to become a part of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it creates that sense of community that I talk about when it comes to music. You find your you find your tribe, you know, and it opens up all these other doorways and portals to other things. Like you listen to crazy punk that's on those things, and then you lead you down a little hole and you find pop punks, more melodic, more harmonies, and you're like, oh, so there's more to this. And you find hardcore music and you're like, I can dig on this too. And it just opens up so many different things that I kind of miss those days of that. Hey, check out this skate tape and listen to the songs on it.
For sure. Oh yeah. I mean, I wasn't a big skater, but you know, I definitely like wasn't big. My friends would always show me like cool bands. I had a friend named John who was always like really hip on the new artists, so I was always trying to stay, you know, up with him because he just had always the best music going on. So even now, you don't really see a lot. I mean, you see like playlist sharing and stuff, but some of these playlists are whack, man.
Yeah, they don't.
You can't trust them, man.
No, you can't.
It's less about the album and more about the single, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah, well, we're in the single age now where it's, that's you know, everybody's got to drop a single every month and no one's clamoring for an album anymore. And the singles kind of create an album over time. But for me, an old fogey, like if I hear a song that just fucking rips and then I go find the artist and I'm like, they got 3 fucking songs.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now I'm done. Like now I'm like, where's my investment? Like,
yeah,
what are you're not keeping me here with anything.
Yeah, right. That's a good point.
Slade, do you remember your first musical memory and the first time you found your music?
Yeah, I mean, let's see, back when I was just a baby, I mean, I have pictures and a little bit of memory, but my parents were like, they went to concerts all the time. They're like definitely concert goers, and once they started bringing us to concerts, it was pretty cool. But I have this fond memory of the Chris Isaak. They loved Chris Isaak, and
I love Chris Isaak.
Yeah, great artist. They were waiting to get his autograph, and it was with my sister. We're both like right on the same age, and they passed us up to the front, and Chris Isaak held us and like signed my baby T-shirt, and then they passed us back. And now thinking about it, I'm like, I would never pass my baby down a crowd of people, but my parents did that. But I mean, it's a cool moment, you know. Like Chris Isaak held me for a minute and signed my shirt, so I'll never forget that. But I think my finding my own music was similar to Danny's. I was in Target with my parents as well, and I was just kind of getting into, you know, different types of music. And I saw
was yours
record.
in sync? Were you guys? If he was Backstreet Boys, were you in sync? Were you on separate teams, Bloods and Crips?
I wish it was, you know, something like that, maybe 98 Degrees or something. No.
O-Town.
O-Town, yeah, right. Yeah. Boys the Men, baby, what's up? No.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I saw this record that I really loved, and I went and saw it, and I picked it up, and I was like, Mom, I want this record. She's like, you even know who this band is? And I was like, no, but I love the picture of this, you know, album, and I want to check it out. There was no real name on that album. It just kind of had an astronaut floating up kind of in space, and I was like, oh, cool. So I went home and played it, and I fell in love with it. It was brand new's Deja Entendu. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, I want to do music like this. Like, this is like, it's so emotional. It keeps you just like, you don't know what's going to happen next. It wasn't like what was happening then. And they kind of like turned the page in my book for me, where I was like, you know, it doesn't, I mean, like this, they're kind of just putting out what they want, and they switched styles. So it just was so weird. And I got into that later, but just that whole record changed everything for me. It was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, those are those, I remember the days. I mean, I'm staring at a wall full of CDs right now, and I remember the days of picking up an album because the cover was cool as shit and can't wait to hear what it sounds like, and then finding a band that, I mean, that's how I found Sunny Day Real Estate. It was like
Nice.
1994. I was in like a Sam Goody, and I saw this CD, and I was like, "What the?" I was like, "Dude, I love this fucking color." I was like, "Who is this band?" Like nobody knew
Yeah,
who the fuck they were, and I was like, "Holy shit, it's on Sub Pop." I'm like, "They gotta be good." Put it
gotta
in
be
my
good.
car on the way home with my friend, and I was just like, what is this music? How come I've never heard anything like this before? And what the fuck's going on? This is the greatest thing I ever heard. And then to this day, I mean, for me, I always go back. I'm like, there's two pivotal albums when people throw the E word around, emo, which is not a bad word. I'm like, there's two albums. It's Jawbreaker's Dear You and it's Sunny Day Real Estate's Diary that came out around the same time. And I'm like, those are the two albums where I think everybody else grew from.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. It just like makes kind of a new genre in a way. And I always like say like, is there going to be like new genres? But emo kind of turned out to be its own thing, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and I mean, what's funny is now that I think it's gotten to a point where with the word emo, it's just almost like the new indie word because it encompasses so many different types of things.
It does,
Yeah.
right?
Now I heard Slade's first concert, which is, I mean, that's a pretty fucking crazy, awesome story about being passed around like a joint up
Sack
to.
of it.
Hey, hit this
Take
baby,
my
dude.
baby, bro.
Danny,
He's
do you
got a
remember
show.
your first concert?
Yeah, dude. My first concert, my mom took me and my brother to see Blink-182 opening for No Doubt, and I was probably 11 or 12 years old, and that was, I mean, the most amazing first concert. And like, I mean, it's a huge show. We're way far out back in the seats just before the grass area. So we were like, oh, that kind of sucks. We thought we'd be, be able to see better. But then, like 3/4 of the way through their set, there's like some kind of lull and the lights kind of go down a little bit. And at one point, we see these security guards just like running by with a dude in a wheelchair and a mohawk. And they were, because at the time, Travis Barker had broke his foot.
Oh
So
yeah.
he was playing using a double bass pedal, using his left foot for the kick drum. And so they wheeled him in a wheelchair into this box that was like right where we were sitting. And he came out of it in like a revolving drum set and did this crazy drum solo like right in front of us. So yeah, that was like an incredible concert. Definitely a very important memory where I was like, yeah, I want to do that shit.
Yeah, that's a Jesus Christ. Both of you with your first concerts. Wow, I feel like a shitbag with mine. So
We're just lucky, I guess.
what was the first one you got to pick, Slade, to go to for your first show?
Ooh, that's a good question. Damn. Oh man. I think it was like I honestly think it was like Edge Fest. So we had a radio station called The Edge here.
Oh
And it
yeah.
was kind of like a Warped Tour. But they always had like cool hit bands that were on the radio at that time. They were indie. I mean, I can't even like I know Mute Math played. Gosh, like, I'm trying to think who headlined. And I was with a bunch of friends from high school and we like were all fucking around. I don't even know what we were doing, but like it was half watching the bands, half kind of hanging out because it was like all of our first concerts. But I remember having a badass time, and like every summer we like made it a thing until Edge Fest didn't come around, and then we went to Warped Tour, and then I started playing Warped Tour. It was fucking tight.
That's a good step ladder system right there.
I know, right? It was cool. It was cool to see.
Danny, what was your first instrument that you learned how to play? I mean, breaking out into music, heard Slade, his story of starting a band and no one knowing anything about instruments. So what was your journey like?
I started with guitar. I saw this like live Red Hot Chili Peppers video in Slane Castle in Ireland, and it just blew my mind. And I was like, I want to grow my hair out and play guitar just like that guy. And so my mom let me like rent a guitar for a while and take lessons. And she's like, if you stick with it, eventually we'll get you a guitar. And so I did. I like took it really seriously and was practicing all the time and just sitting in my room day and night, learning whatever songs I could. And just kind of mainly stuck with that. My older brother is a drummer. So we had a nice thing where we had like a little band room at our house, and so like all of our friends would come hang out that played instruments and just jam along, cover songs, whatever. But my brother and I would like simultaneously teach each other how to play each other's instruments. So it was a lot of guitar and drums when I was growing up.
Nice. What was the name of your first band ever?
Ooh, my first band ever was the Nevea when I was like 13. Because they were like, dude, it's heaven backwards.
These are fucking ridiculous. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was your Slade?
I should not be talking shit. Ours was Troop 101 because we didn't have a name. We were like, eating Girl Scout cookies. We're like, this is Troop fucking 42. Let's just do Troop 101 because it's probably not Troop 101. And then that was it, Troop 101. And
All
then
right.
Troop 101 turned into Ann Arbor. So we just had to change names for a sec.
Thank God.
God, I know, right? Trust me, I know.
So when was the first time you performed in front of strangers, Danny? The first musical performance in front of strangers. Do you remember what it was? It a talent show or something?
My very first like musical performance was actually my cousin's wedding. I think I was like 12 or 13. And they had this big wedding at our house in our backyard under the pear tree. And instead of getting like a piano or an organ player or anything like that, they paid me to play Canon and D as they were walking down the aisle, and then to play Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix after they got married and walked back down the aisle. And that was pretty rad. It was a pretty good first gig.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'll say. You're talking about pressure laden first fucking gig. Wow.
Yeah. It was pretty intense, but it's pretty sweet. Lots of the bridesmaids were checking me out, so you know.
Yeah, baby.
That's How about you, Slade? Do you remember your first performance in front of strangers?
Well,
you were just a little kid.
If it comes to like the band, I mean, I also took like singing lessons before I joined the band because I was just like at home all the time singing. My mom's like, you need to do something. And I was like, no, singing lessons are for girls. She's like, no, I'm going to do it anyway. I didn't know I was going to join a band. But before all that shit went down, my sister had this friend named Alex who would always tease me and make me sing opera and stuff. And for some reason, she'd always make me sing Happy Birthday in opera. And I didn't know how to do opera. They just were fucking with me. They'd be like, you're so good. And I'd be like, no. And they'd be like, just do it. But one time they had a big birthday at Alex's house. And they were just fucking with me, but they made me sing opera in front of all these fucking people, like happy birthday, like no joke, like we're talking like really, really just like fucking just such a loser.
Nice. Don't sing the whole song. We can't afford the royalties for it on the show.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm not an opera singer, so obviously I look back on it now and it's just fucking hilarious because it's like, do it, Slade. And all these people are like, what? Who the fuck is this kid singing? Fucking like, what is happening? I was pretty nervous and I was really scared. And I think after that, I was like, I don't want to do this at all.
Look at you now.
Doing
look at you now.
But yeah, scarred me for life right there.
Do you have a favorite musical performance memory? Either of you? I'll start with Slade's to finish off on yours for the band. A favorite performance that you look back on fondly and just be like, that was the moment so far.
For Ann Arbor?
Yeah.
We had a really good show at the Marquee with a drummer that had passed away shortly after. But Dan, do you remember that show? Marquee, yeah. I think it was Catastro's headliner. That show was fucking like one of my favorite shows ever. I mean, we played great. We had, our producer playing with us. And after that, I just remember the feeling like, man, this is it. This is like the start of a new Ann Arbor. And before that, it had always been fun, but I was just too young to really understand what was going on. And then once you really take on the business and start running yourself, obviously you get more attached to it. So that was a really, really big moment for me. That show was awesome. I really, really enjoyed that.
Danny, do you have one? Is it the same one, or do you have one that stands out?
Honestly, it's the same one because it was just, I think, for me at that time, that show went so well, and I was blown away by not only how many people were there, but how many people were singing the songs, and just like how seriously intense the energy of the entire room was. But that show also solidified for me like how true my place was in the band, because I had like done a tour, a couple tours or something like that, and then I think after that is when I kind of like felt like, oh, like this is my band too. And I mean, that last show with that drummer Tyler, we didn't really know it was going to be uh, one of our last performances with him, if not the last. But I mean, luckily we got tons of footage from it, and we tweaked all that footage into the video for our song "Can't Help It." So it's really cool to have that piece and to be able to like look back on that. And just, I mean, even when I look back on it, you can just see how stoked every one of us is on the stage, like performing for that crowd. So
yeah,
that's an awesome memory for both of you to share, having the same memory. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, was there a band that you ever performed with, Slade? You guys were on the same ticket, that you stood back and watched in awe of what they were able to do? And it doesn't take away anything from any other band you've ever been on a show with, but is there one band that stands out that you were able to stand back and just be like, holy fuck, that's how you do it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, there's a lot of bands that really just go so hard, and especially on Warped Tour, it's like everybody just tries to outdo everyone, But I'll tell you, the one band that I saw for the first time and I was like, man, this band is fucking crazy, was Bring Me the Horizon back in their early days, man, when they were playing like Warped Tour. Like the way that he just controlled everything and was just everybody just kind of sat back and was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, he was just a fucking nut, and he just was wild, and he took over, and like everybody listened to what he said. And there's a lot of singers that do a really good job, but I had never seen anything like his early days, man. He was wild. Like, he was really, really good. And I'm not even like a huge fan of that band, but I just couldn't help but watch. You just can't help but just be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is killer. I mean, I know that's a weird probably band for me to say. I mean, I've seen a lot of bands, but really one that just kind of took me out of surprise. It was just fucking was one of those.
Nothing's weird, man. It's your story. It's what you remember. It's your memories. That I don't think anything's weird when it comes to music anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
How about you, Danny?
As far as bands that we've performed with, it's hard to say, because I think most of the tours that I've done with the band have all been headlining. And I'm trying to think, oh well, you know what, there was this band that we did a tour with, it was the first tour I did with Ann Arbor, and the opening band was called Cold Collective, and they were just these Boston kids that just had such a dope, like gritty, natural vibe, and just, I don't know, reminded me a lot of like Nirvana, and just their entire attitude, and like the way they went up there knowing that they're playing in front of not a single person that knows who they are, but they just crushed it every night. And like, I think all of us in the like all of us in our van and our crew would be listening to their stuff while we're driving to the next venue. And we're just, I don't know, it was a really cool thing to see, and like inspiring for me personally to, when you're just getting up in front of people you don't know, like, it doesn't matter. You just go up there and you do your shit.
Nice. So here's one for you. Go Slade. If someone never heard Ann Arbor's music, what song of yours would you play for them?
Ooh. Probably either. Well, I'd probably say Can't Help It, because I love that song, and it's some of our newer stuff that kind of shows off a little bit of, melody, but also, how poppy we can be, but also gives a little bit of rock. But I mean, it's hard. I also Always Dirty Never Clean. That gives a really good impression of how we used to be. Rock and roll just straight from the core. Yeah, I would have to go with those two songs.
Nice. How about you, Danny?
I mean, yeah, honestly, can't help it's definitely high up there. I think Gypsy Woman has always been a big one for me because I know it's definitely a fan favorite, but it's also like one of my personal favorites because I remember being in high school or whatever when that came out and like seeing the music video and just being like, damn, like, okay, these guys fucking rock and roll. And I don't know, something about that song is very like encompassing of the whole vibe of the band. But also this next song that we're dropping on Friday, it's called Letter in a Suitcase. I think it's a really, really awesome blend of like that old feeling and those old vibes that Ann Arbor used to put out and mixing it with just a little bit of something new, but it's just like really raw and in your face and exciting.
Nice. And I mean, is everything written and recorded for the new album?
Yes. Yeah, it's all done.
Yeah, everything's finished.
Nice. So it gives us all something to look forward to. All right, here's one. Slade, pivotal moment in your life is when you're a teenager and the day you get your license and you go pick up your friend or girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever it may be. What was playing on your radio?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
So you're 17 years old. You just get your driver's license and you go to pick up your friend the day you get your driver's license. What was on the radio?
Ooh, early 90s. So like, what do you have in early 90s? We had like a little bit of Backstreet Boys because my sister was a huge like NSYNC Backstreet Boys fan. But my mom was also a huge like Cyndi Lauper. So they was always listening to like 94.5. That's like an old school radio here. But also, like Red Hot Chili Peppers, anything that was on the way to school. Like, honestly, I was a radio guy and I still am to this day. So that's my son. Sorry.
There he is. What's up? How about you, Danny? Do you remember when you got your driver's license, what you were listening to on the radio?
I don't remember what I was listening to on the way there, but I know the day I got my first car, and I had already gone before getting my car to get the Chronic, Dr. Dre, and the Slim Shady LP by Eminem. And those were the first two CDs I had in my car. So I would drive to school every morning listening to those. And then like shortly after that, I think I spent one of my first paychecks ever buying every single Incubus CD at a Zia record store and going really deep into that.
Nice. Like when you say all, like the first one when they were a funk metal band.
Yeah, Fungus Among Us. Yeah. Yeah, I went through all of it.
Nice. So do you have a band, Danny, in your life that a band that's never let you down, a band that you can always turn to and know that you're not going to be let down whenever you put on an album?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's probably Red Hot Chili Peppers because they were so big for me getting into music, and so much of their music is so nostalgic for me, but also I've always looked heavily up to John Frusciante, to Flea, to Chad Smith as, instrumentalists, and they've just never really missed for me. And they've always been a band that I know I can pop on a record and listen to the whole record and not get bored of it. Because that seems to be what happens now. Like we were just talking about, everything's about singles now. It's like the idea of writing a whole album as a piece of art is starting to get lost, and they never seem to drop that. So
yeah, I mean that is the thing that kills me the most. Is one of my favorite things is seeing an album progression and hearing the full story the way it was meant to be read. It's just like a book. I look at it as, an album is a book. You have your beginning, middle, and end. You have your plot with your songs that are just hit you hardest in the middle of an album to a slow down song at the end to say goodbye, you know, like,
Yeah.
and I miss those stories when we're in the singles world. Like I just miss those stories.
Bands don't put out records like that anymore. It's honestly, they only put out singles. It's like you said, it's a singles world.
Slade, do you have what band do you have that's your go-to that just never lets you down? You can always turn to them when you need to listen to something.
I'll be honest, I'll start from, when I was a kid, Brand New. I really love that band, and I feel like they have a song for every kind of emotion that you're feeling, which is really unique. A lot of bands kind of have their certain sound and stick with it. They have a couple slow songs, it is what it is, but that band's always just covered all the bases for me.
Nice.
I think for both of us, Kings of Leon fit
for
probably
sure
heavily into that.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I agree with that.
Hard not to when you have rock and roll in your blood. Slade, do you remember the last song you listened to that made you cry?
Ooh, that's a good question. Gosh, I don't think I do, man. I'm trying to think right now. I try to stay away from the sad ones. God, I can't remember the last time I've cried over a song now that I think about it. Shane, jeez.
Wow.
Gotta get in touch with myself a little bit more.
Yeah, you do. I mean, listen, there's nothing more masculine and nothing that brings out more raw emotion than crying. I think it's the greatest release in the world. But it is hard to have a song that does it for you. But listen, maybe I'm weird because I think I have a lot of songs that I'll listen to and I'll just start to cry. But
there was one song back in the day by Something Corporate. Constantine always put that weird feeling in my head. I'd be like, oh man, I feel sad. But that song's also 10 minutes long, so can't. Yeah.
Do you have one, Danny, or are you gonna be emotionless?
I think the last one was probably a song by King Cruel. So I think my cousin introduced me to him. He's this, I think he's British or Irish or something, but
yeah, he's British.
Real sad but dreamy songs. But I think a cousin of mine introduced me to him, and there was also some other sad stuff going on at the time, but that just really pulled it out. I think it's Baby Blue, maybe.
All right, nice. If you had a theme song, Danny, anytime you stepped out in the public and the song just played, what song would play for you?
Ooh, that's a good one. Let Slade go. Come back to me. Let me think about that.
You can't do that. No, you can't do that. I don't know, man. Jeez. Little Mariah Carey in it? No, I'm just kidding. That's not it. God, I don't know. I feel like Danny's would be Real Slim Shady. Please stand up.
This clown song. Yeah, that makes sense.
You talked yourself into it. I love it.
God,
man, I don't know. I'm gonna say, yeah. A pass.
Gin and juice. Gin and juice would be pretty rad to have bumping every time you walk into a room.
Yeah. Well, that's what I imagine it like when you just walk in a room and you want the spotlight on you. What song's always playing?
Yeah.
The old
Lion King theme song.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty sweet.
All right. You have 5 minutes left to live. A meteor's going to crash into the earth, and it's all you got. But you have to listen to one song. Danny, what song would you listen to?
Oh, man. I have 5 minutes left. I have to listen to one song. Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody.
All right. I like that.
You're going to dance, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to dance the apocalypse away.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it, man.
How about you, Slade?
Let's see, Marvin Gaye. Let's Get It On. Is that who sings that?
Yes, it is.
Get some freaky dance to some freaky time before the world ends. I think that'll set the mood pretty good.
All right. How about do you have any? And listen, I always have to preface this because I know we're all, when it comes to music, I don't give a fuck about what anybody thinks about what I listen to. But I always say there's that one split second that you could be listening to something and someone walks in and you get a tiny bit nervous that they heard you listening to it. People will call it a guilty pleasure, but what is it that you listen to, Slade, that you get tons of enjoyment out of, that someone would probably just be like, wow, I never pictured you listen to that?
I'll be honest. My girl listens to a lot of K-pop, and I actually have fallen pretty deep into the K-pop world. So, um, I love it. And when people are like, "Yeah, you know K-pop bands," I'm like, "Yeah, my lady loves it. I mean, I listen to it all the time." So it's kind of just like a guilty little pleasure that I've got in there, and the hidden little stash of music that I have.
Nice. How about you, Danny?
I don't believe in treating any music you like as a guilty pleasure because I'm not
They're
guilty
just
about
pleasures.
any of
Yeah,
it, you
they're
know.
just pleasures.
But I would say like one band I'll probably never find another friend that like wants to bump this, but every now and then I'll start listening to it again, like at the gym or something. But I was so huge in like middle school, high school into this band called the Blood Brothers. And if you're not familiar with it, it probably just sounds like some gnarly, I don't know, vultures screeching or something. But that was my shit, and it still rings with me today. Anytime that I do come across it, I'm still like, you know what? Yeah, this is still fucking awesome.
I just wrote it down, so I will be listening to it.
Yeah.
The Blood Brothers are crazy, man.
Yeah.
All right, so with a new album coming out, what else are you excited for that's upcoming for you guys, Slade?
Ooh, with the new album, I'm excited for all the music videos we've got. This is the one that we've got coming out on, what is it, Thursday or Friday? It's like probably one of my favorite videos we've ever done. It's like a little short film that we did with a guy named Brian. But it came out so cool. It's got like, the vibes of like Kill Bill and Pulp Fiction. I'm really proud of it. I can't wait to show people. But honestly, everything part of this record that we've done is really cool. So I'm just excited to get it out there, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, and videos have now, to me, what's weird is, and me growing up in the video age, in the 80s. The 80s was my time. 80s, early 90s of just MTV, always having videos and being able to learn a little bit about the artist. And I also like being able to listen to a song, create my own music video in my head sometimes. But the way that videos are coming back and popping on YouTube, and bands are really putting a lot of effort into it, is it's kind of refreshing. And I almost wish there was another medium that people could just always have videos playing of bands besides searching it out on YouTube.
Yeah, I do miss that for sure. Like I was really like middle school, high school was always, you know, I'm either sitting at my computer doing homework or playing video games or whatever I'm doing, but on the TV there's always either like, you know, MTV, VH1, or Fuse was really big too at like the time of Warped Tour, and that's kind of what built up the pop punk world so much. But yeah, there's not really anything like that anymore that's just constantly showing videos.
Yeah, what are you most excited for coming up, Danny?
I mean, so this is my first like full length record that I've written on. So I'm just really excited to get out this whole piece of work. I mean, we've talked about it so much that like every song on this record felt like good enough to be a single. Like it was really hard to choose what the singles were going to be because all of them are, you know, just as good as the next one, and they're all different enough. But they fit really well together, and the whole process of creating it was really fun and explorative. And I just can't wait to see what people think about it. I think we've put a lot more effort into just everything that goes in with the music and the branding, and the music videos, and with our live performances going forward. It really is just like we're reaching the next step, and I can't wait for everybody to see that and see how they feel about it.
Nice. Do you guys have any tours planned for the summer, shows coming up for the summer that, you know, it's going to be the big time?
We don't have anything
Nothing right now.
on the books quite yet. I think like we have some stuff that we're planning, but most likely for touring, that probably won't happen until around the time the full record comes out, which is going to be September 2nd.
Right.
So
Nice. Well, I know the kids are there now. I don't want to keep you guys longer than I told you I would. But before we move into our last segment, first thing I just want to say thank you for the hours of enjoyment you've given me with your music, and I thank you for that. As an artist, we all here in the world say thank you for what you do and putting your soul out there and writing these songs and letting us have them. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
Dude,
thank you for
thank you so
listening.
much for supporting and listening and honestly checking out all of the stuff because, we have a lot of people that are just like, we like the old stuff a lot. And we're like, yeah, but, we like to do stuff that's, new for us too. So I appreciate you listening to, everything, man, the whole discography. And I'm excited for you to hear the record, bro. Thank you
Yeah,
so
and
much.
listen, I mean, I understand how that is for people. They always clamor for, and how I explain it to people, like, oh, I like their original stuff. And I go, well, it's a good thing in the world we live in because it's still there for you to listen to.
Right,
So, but you have to open your ears to try new things because everyone matures, and doesn't matter what band you listen to, every band has changed at some point and matured because guess what? A lot of songwriting is built off of experience. And what happens every day? Every day you get older, so you have new experiences.
right.
So,
You're right.
enjoy
Yeah.
that.
Thanks, man. It's fun. It's a good process. We enjoy it.
Good. Well,
For the most
so our last segment is it's called our weekly threes. It's three things that you're listening to right now that you would like people to check out. So if you want a second to pull up your most recent playlist on whatever streaming service you were using to pull it up, but three things that you would like people to check out that you're listening to right now. And I'll start with
I'm
Danny.
so sorry.
All right. Number one, I'm going to have to say the new Jack White record, Fear of the Dawn, is just bananas. It's so good. And I love it so much too because he wrote this entire record as like a whole record to be listened to from front to back. So that's great, super inspiring. And another artist, Dan Kroll. He's a British artist that I've been following for a few years. He's incredible. I'm still listening to his stuff all the time. And let's get one more in there. Ooh. And then I guess a newer band that I recently discovered. They're called Coast Modern. They're a super cool band, like a little bit more of a chilled out Cage the Elephant type of vibe.
Nice. There you go.
Nice. All right, Slade, three for you.
Let's see. I'm going through my playlist right now. There's a guy named Briston Maroney that I heard while I was at South by Southwest.
He's awesome. I saw
really
him
good.
playing a tent to 4 people in
Oh, that's
Jersey over the
awesome,
summer.
Nice.
So,
dude, I love him. He's great. He's got a great voice. Let's see what else I got on here. I got a band called Porch. I think it's just a guy, actually. Really good, really indie. He's not the greatest singer, but I kind of like that, which is kind of cool. And then I got a band called Men I Trust. We're super indie band, but they got a bunch of good pop, indie songs that I've been slowly taking notes from.
nice. Great threes, fellas. Now it's time for my threes.
Right.
My first one is singer-songwriter Tyrone Wells. He's got a new EP out called Who We Are. I followed this guy's career ever since the first time I heard him do a cover track on YouTube, 15, 20 years ago. Totally awesome. Just great voice, great songwriter. Next is a band called Monster Truck. They're a rock and roll band. They're a 70s rock and roll band out of Canada. There's an album called Sittin' Heavy, where if you're just looking for that heavy, thunderous noise in the background with just great rock vocals, Monster Truck.
Yeah. Nice.
And then last but not least is a band called Heatherset. The album is self-titled, so Heatherset, and that's set with 2 T's. They're power pop, pop punk, punk rock, whatever the fuck subgenre you want to throw it under nowadays. But that's those are my 3 for this week.
Right on, bro. Oh yeah, like those guys, like Monster Truck. Check that out.
Yeah, they just have that thunderous, heavy sound in the background. Like it's almost like a Caius background. Like the dodgy, doomy bass, but heavy guitar, rock guitar, like Southern rock guitar, and the vocals are just fucking on point. So
Nice.
But before you go, Slade, why don't you tell everybody how to find everything that Ann Arbor's doing, how to pay attention to all the stuff that you guys are doing, throughout your handles.
Yeah, guys. Thanks for checking us out. You can check us out anywhere. I mean, we're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, at Ann Arbor, basically on everything. I think we lucked out on that one. We also got, our personals. So follow us, listen to us on Spotify, wherever you stream music. I'm more of an iTunes guy, but do whatever you got to do to check us out and let us know what you think. Appreciate you guys.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you. Danny Slade, thank you so much for being here this week. We're going to follow you guys closely. Can't wait for the new album. So thank you for prior to that coming out. So something to look forward
thanks a lot.
But everybody out there in the world, you know what you need to do next? You need to go out, listen to Ann Arbor, and have a great fucking time.
Yes.
Don't think that you're to blame. My rules ain't gonna change, and I haven't changed no one. Cause baby, I ain't got the time to be your man tonight, but I got enough to make you feel right. To wait for someone, but not me. I ain't got the time to be your man tonight, but I got enough to make you feel right. I'll pack my bag, I got a letter in a suitcase, I got a letter with a new face. I'm like, yeah, to every little thing that you say, you know that I'm gonna listen and pack my bag. I got a letter in a suitcase, I got a letter with a new face. I'm like, yeah, to every little thing that you say, you know that I'm gonna listen and half the time I see myself alone, half the time I don't. Half the time I wish you'd let me go, half the time you won't. Half the time I see myself alone, half the time I don't. Half the time I wish you'd let me go, half the time you won't. I'll pack my bag, I got a letter in a suitcase, I got a letter with a new face. I'm like, yeah, to every little thing that you say, you know that I'm gonna listen and pack my bag. I got a letter in a suitcase, I got a letter with a new face. I'm like, yeah, to every little thing that you say, you know that I'm gonna listen and I don't feel time when I leave. I promise I'll call you in the next city if you want me to. You can text me, I've been drinking in the Midwest town since 10 a.m. It's a one-way road when I can't stay. All the lonely lines on the highway. I broke your heart, I felt some way. But when I get home, baby, we can run away. I fall in place when I'm gone. Think about my life and everything I did wrong along the way. You can text me, I've been thinking. Alone in a hotel bar since 10 a.m.
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions to myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.